What's up guys, Tyler at RC Madness. I'm going to be showing you guys today how to glue up a set of RC Buggy tires. So we're going to go ahead and open up the rims first. These are just rear two-wheel drive Buggy 2.2 rims. Pretty common for racing and bashing. These principles apply to pretty much gluing any kind of tire. Obviously there's probably some exceptions. I'm going to go ahead and open up the tires. In this case, the tire and the foam is sold separately. In your case, they may have just come together. It's pretty common as well. This one I got separate foams, so I'll show you guys that too. If you get any like Proline or JC off-road tires, and most of them come with the insert already in them. So I like to take a little bit of motor cleaner, spray it on a paper towel here. You could use regular alcohol or any kind of cleaning, but I just take it and wipe out the inner bead of the tire. This is going to help the glue stick. Sometimes I use a release agent or something from the mold on the tire, and I just wipe out the bead. Sometimes they can be a little dirty. Some are worse than others. I'd say it's not a 100% necessary step, but it definitely doesn't hurt. Definitely get better adhesion. We got those, wipe those out. Quick and easy step. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the foams in. I usually pinch it in half. Try to do this so you guys can see. And then just kind of work it in, fold it up like that, so I kind of have it like this. Foams are pretty strong, and as long as you're not being a complete animal with it, you shouldn't have a problem getting it in there. These are just open cell foams, so the closed cells are, I think, actually a little easier to put in. So you just got to work it in there, work it around. Doesn't have to be perfect. When we put the rim on, we'll set it up a little better. We're going to do that times 2. Try to do it slow so you guys can see. Just working it around like this. Make sure it doesn't have any big kinks in it. So we got the foams in. Now we got to put the rims in. This is probably the hardest part. These tires are not directional, so it doesn't matter. I usually put the yellow dot on these ones towards the inside. But if you have a directional tire, take note of which way you're putting it on. So you just gotta basically just work it in there, shove it in. Just pull it back. Don't worry too much about that foam. Try not to get it caught. You don't want to rip the foam. So just kind of, I'm just taking it and peeling it up. Picking it, I'm just pulling it. Don't be afraid to be a little aggressive with it. They're not gonna rip. So now I'm just pushing that foam back in place. So now we have the bead exposed. So now we gotta take basically this inner bead here. Every tire should have one, more or less. And we're gonna put it in the groove on the rim on both sides. Should sit in there quite nicely. So I usually just start somewhere, pick it up, pull it forward, pick it up, pull it forward, just like that. It should kind of more or less fall into place and should look something like that. Should be all seated in there nicely. Sometimes the backside, like just now, kind of fell right into place. You don't have to do anything. I usually give it a squeeze, make sure our foam didn't get caught up anywhere. And then we just do that times 2. There we go. So now we got both our tires mounted on the rim. Everything looks good. Remember, if they're directional, make sure you got them on the right side before we glue. Today I'm using TLR thin glue. There's lots of different glues out there. I would just recommend trying each one when you try gluing different tires. Some people like different glues. I don't mind this TLR thin. They got standard as well. It's a little easier to work with for the first time probably. And I'm using these Racer's Edge glue tips. They just fit right over. These just make it a lot easier and a lot more controlled getting it in the bead. So basically, I usually just take a spot here, make sure we're flowing properly. It doesn't all shoot out at once all over your hands. So then you just peel back the bead so you can see it in there, and you're just gonna lay a little bit of glue in there. Don't go crazy, otherwise it'll smush out and you'll have glue all over the place. Make sure it doesn't build up on your tip either, and then when you go to put it in, smear it everywhere. So you should just peel it back a little bit, go another inch or so. Like so. Oh. See, we got a little bit there because it was on the tip, see? It's okay. And just make sure we're all seated in the bead properly. And it looks good. You don't have to go all the way around it. You can peel it back in sections because when we put the bead back on, it actually smooshes the glue around. So I usually glue it, end up being like 4 to 6 spots depending on the size of the tire. Then you're gonna go ahead and do that on both tires, on the front and the back, making sure you get the glue on that bead there and make sure it sits properly. And that's how you glue a set of RC Buggy tires. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.